meeting in this way, because our work at Forma has always been about creating spaces where people belong, even when we can't all be in the room. This year's theme, Belonging and Becoming, is so perfect for our work together, which is probably why you all chose it. And all of us with unveiled faces, seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. Friends, we belong to each other, and we're becoming something together, being transformed one degree of glory to another. That's the work we do. That's the vision we share, and that's what makes this gathering so important. So let's get started. Thank you for your leadership, for your dedication, and for being here in person and online as we look at the year behind us and the work ahead of us. I'm going to take a moment to invite our leadership council up to introduce themselves, both their work in Forma and their outside Forma work. So Samantha will pass the microphone.
Y'all can just come up here.
Come up and stand in line, and then they'll pass the microphone down.
So my name is Samantha. Some of you may have arrived since the last time I introduced myself. So I'm the staff person on the lifelong learning team at VTS who is responsible for Forma. My title is Coordinator of Forma Evangelism. And I have the pleasure of working with this wonderful crew of leaders in the church. And I'm going to pass the mic to Missy.
Hi, I'm Missy Moraine. Thank you. What am I? Oh, I am the Missioner for Christian Formation in the Diocese of Los Angeles. And on the Former Leadership Council, I work with the advocacy team, awards, and certificate.
Hello, my name is Carmen Piggins. I am the Canon for Ministry with Young People for the Episcopal Diocese of Michigan. Thanks, Gerardo. And I am also on exec, and I was our liaison for the conference. And I also work on our resource library, which all of your resource shares will be helping to buff up. So.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie Teal. I'm the Director of Children and Youth Ministry at St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the Diocese of East Tennessee. And I also work with Carmen on the resource library that is, again, always being built up. So if you have additions, let us know. And also served on the nominations committee this year.
Hello, I'm Chad Brinkman. I'm the Director of Faith Fundraising at Episcopal Relief and Development. As part of the Forma Leadership Council, I've been working with the Program Committee and the Strategic Partnerships Committee. I'm very excited about our programmatic offerings for 2026, so be sure you check those out. And then this year, I will be serving also as the Treasurer.
Hi everyone, I'm Marvin McLennan from the Diocese of Arkansas. I'm the Director of Children and Youth Ministries at Christ Episcopal Church. And I get to work with these amazing people, and I'm also a part of the programs committee too with Chad and Samantha. Really excited for this coming year. And I also get to work with Samantha on the lifelong learning certificate program as well.
Hi, I'm Patrick Congerga. I am in the San Francisco Bay Area in a place called Belvedere, serving as Minister for Children and Youth in a congregation. And I've had the pleasure of doing many different things, most currently working with Chris and Samantha on membership and thinking about the value of what it means to be a member and how to enhance and add to that. So.
Hi, I'm Teresa Ferris, the Director of Children, Youth, and Camp Ministries in the Diocese of Oklahoma. I've been on the conference planning team and on the nominations committee.
Also here at the conference this week, but not in the room at the moment, is Estella Lopez, who serves on the bishop staff in the Diocese of Texas. And Missy is going to talk about our other members who are not here at the conference.
Hi, I am not Patty Ames, but Patty... but I am playing her in this particular meeting. Patty has been serving as the treasurer of Forma, for which we are supremely grateful. She is also the canon for children's ministry in the Diocese of Southwest Virginia, and is not here because she's also the secretary of their convention. They have an electing convention in just a couple of days. Hi, I am also not Emily Gowdy Kennedy. I'm also not Emily Gowdy Kennedy, who is on the diocesan staff in the Diocese of East Carolina, lifelong formation. And we did bring her cheering section. She has been serving as the vice chair of Forma and will become the chair if Chris decides that she's going to set that down. Yes. And she is not here because her husband is on the slate of the bishop slate for the convention where Patty is the secretary. And in case you've ever heard that the Episcopal Church has 6 degrees of separation, formation people only have 2. Oh. I am also not Emily Schnabel, who is a rector at, thank you, St. Martha's in Nebraska, who is the secretary of the executive committee, who is not here because her father-in-law died suddenly this past week.
Thank you, Missy. Y'all can sit down.
Who am I?
And I am Christine Fentress-Gannon. I didn't introduce myself, my bad. I am rector at St. John's Episcopal Church in Plymouth, Michigan. Thank you. Gerardo, you should have done that a little bit better, but that's okay. I serve as chair for this past year on Forma, and I've worked on membership with both Patrick and Samantha. So we are going to recap our goals for 2025. You'll see them on the screen. The first one, equipping staff transition. Samantha was our new staff person this year, our Forma evangelist, and we were very intentional about making sure that this transition was a smooth one, a great one, and I've been nothing but impressed and humbled by her dedication and attention to our mission. So folks, can I have a round of applause for Samantha? Woo! Speech, sorry. The second was a cutting-edge in-person 2026 conference planning. So hold on, in real time, how did we do? So far? Check. Strengthening the work of committees. We have been recruiting people to serve from the membership, setting regular meeting times and establishing goals, and we think we've done that well. If there is a committee that you realize that you would like to serve on, please contact us. We'll talk about that later. So I feel like that's a check. Membership increased from December of 2024 to 2025 by 19%. So, friends, I hope that you realize the importance of being a member of Forma and the work that we do. And for those of you who are new to Forma, you'll be able to hear that and see that right now. But we'd love for you to continue your membership beyond this year. And then, Samantha, connections.
So I'll be very brief because we'll talk about this a little bit later when we talk about strategic partnerships, our committee work there. But our last goal was deepening our connections with other organizations that have shared vision, mission, and values within the Episcopal Church and beyond. And this has become an increasingly important priority in the changing landscape of the church and limited resources. And so this transitions to our 2026 goals. So our first goal of 3 in 2026 is to grow our strategic partnerships by gaining clarity of the process for our strategic partnership committee to engage in new and emerging initiatives with other organizations who share mission, vision, and value, so that we can do collaborative work in really intentional ways with other organizations in the church who are looking for partners to do ministry with. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we go through our committee work.
I got this. Our second one is improving member engagement of programming. All of our programs. Did you know that the conference is not our only program? Yes. Okay, just checking. Asking for a friend. By increasing program attendance across offerings by 25%. We're working to improve communications about our programs, asking you to help with word of mouth, some more predictable programming schedule, and responding to the Forma survey to address topics of interest. We had 3 goals for this year. Our last is to discuss a way forward for receiving designated contributions for Forma through VTS and institutional advancement by the end of 2026, or if not possible, explore other avenues of accepting financial gifts towards the ministry of our organization. Currently, we rely on membership dues and conference fees. We currently can't receive gifts right to Forma, and we want to be sustainable. So Chad will speak more about this in our finance report. And now I invite Missy up to talk about advocacy. Woohoo!
So the advocacy team for Forma has a number of areas that we engage in. We engage in both advocacy work to help you do your work better, to help with a sense of, for those of you who are employees, professional standards to help you ensure things like you have job descriptions that match your job duties. We have historically worked with the Episcopal Church and Church Pension to ensure that lay professionals have pension and insurance benefits required. If you don't know that already, what?
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you don't know that you're supposed to have those, come talk to us because you are. We also work at General Convention and at diocesan conventions to help push forward the work of formation and discipleship in the Episcopal Church. Our big work this past year, which I thank you, those of you who participated in, was the work of the Landscape Formation Survey, which was a sizable survey, 85 questions, which about 200 people participated in. We are excited to share more information about that work and the results, which were both really heartening and exciting to see the work that we have done over the past 30 years of Forma, and also kind of depressing when we realized work that we still have ahead of us and the reality that we're living in. So if you would like to hear more about that survey and really to explore where you are in that, we would love to have you as a part of our workshop, which is right after lunch. Time has no meaning right now in the cathedral. And if you are interested in being a part of that work, we would love to welcome you to our committee, which both meets sometimes regularly and then meets more intensely when we're working towards things like General Convention. And we do a lot of work by email and text, and we're fun. Sometimes darkly sarcastic, but we're fun.
Thank you, Missy. We're looking forward to publishing a full report of the survey findings later this spring, and we're actively working on analyzing the data that we received. So I hope you'll look forward to seeing that, and we're excited to share it, especially with people who are working on diocesan or provincial levels and the church at large, so that they can use the data to help do the advocacy work in their own local networks. The next thing that we're going to talk about is our certificate program. So later.
Have a seat.
So Forma has a history of certificate programs, and we have been working over the past 4 years to develop and begin implementing the Certificate in Lifelong Christian Formation, which is a reboot and a revisioning of the previous certificate programs that Forma has offered. We have one cohort has completed the certificate program. SK, I think, is in the room. Is she? SK just left. She is, and Mackenzie, sorry. Mackenzie and SK were both members of the first pilot cohort and helped to provide really helpful and meaningful feedback that contributed to the continuing development of the program offerings. And so we're grateful for that. And we are currently in the middle of our second cohort group, which you see up here on the screen. This was during our residency week at VTS. Marvin's going to talk a little bit more about the certificate in just a second, but at the same time that we have been running what I call our VTS cohorts, we this year are doing a pilot program with the Diocese of Atlanta to implement the certificate on a regional level, and we're working with their staff there to think about how we could design something that's replicable on a regional, either diocesan or local school of ministry level, where using their own facilitators, but using our curriculum, they could really boost the level of formation training in their area in a really quick turnaround. That's in progress, but we're excited with where that's going, and we look forward to sharing even more about that with you next year at our conference. Marvin has been our cohort certificate co-facilitator with me, and I'm just going to invite him to come up and say a couple of words about the program.
Hi, everyone. So, yes, the certificate program has been great so far. It's and you might be wondering what you do exactly. So we're kind of like living in an intentional community across the country, and there are 9 of us, well, 9 members in the cohort this go around, and we meet monthly, and we have different conversations about it's kind of like asymmetrical learning at this point, right now. So they can look at a variety of different talks and meet and learn about those different topics from our fantastic professors at VTS. And yeah, so kind of like timeline-wise, we meet monthly just to kind of check in on one another and see how we're doing. And that kind of extends beyond the program itself, but also like how we're doing in our ministries. And we're able to lean on each other and just help provide information, because as we've learned throughout this week that we're not an island. So it's been great getting to get to know one another and be there for each other. Then in October, we had our residency program at VTS, which was incredible. And we got to see and learn, we got to see face-to-face our professors and speakers, and they got to kind of dig deeper into the variety of topics, kind of the intersectionality between formation and race, formation, and the Bible. And it was great. Like we were able to learn and sit in the classroom and then go debrief later. And that was really a solid way of filling one another's cup. And then we get to be at VTS, which is always great. And then after that, we moved to this asymmetrical program where they get to it's kind of choose your own adventure, where they look at the different topics, but then they also have a capstone at the end of the year where they'll piece together this capstone and see how it can apply to their ministry context. So overall, the whole program is about building your competency in formation. And it's a great program for if you're just starting or if you've been doing it for a minute and want to kind of, look at formation differently. Yeah, and if you have any questions, we'd love to answer them. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Marvin. If you have questions about the certificate program, you're invited to speak to, you could talk to Marvin, myself, Mackenzie, SK, Missy, Wallace, Lisa, Susanna. Susanna, we've all been working on the development of this program and would love to share more with you about it. There's a postcard in your swag bag, so either take it with you and learn more, or give it to someone in your diocese or in your local network who you think might benefit from the program. We would love for your help in spreading the word. I'm going to invite Teresa to come up and say a little bit about the conference and about our conference next year.
We've been planning this radically embodied conference for over a year, and it's been really fun to be on the team and thinking about just dreaming about how we could be radically embodied this year, and it's been lots of fun. So the next conference will be January 25th through 28th next year, and it'll be radically hybrid, and we hope you can join us.
Part of the radically hybrid model is that we host regional gatherings. And so this is our first stage of planning for the conference for next year. But if you are interested in either serving on the conference planning committee or hosting a regional gathering, which we'll share more information about soon, we have a little form to start gathering names. So I know Susanna mentioned earlier, they're already planning on hosting a regional gathering at Mustang Island in West Texas. And I made plans with the folks in Louisiana to host a regional gathering at Solomon Center in southern Louisiana. So things are starting to emerge, and if you want to know more about that, come find either myself or Wallace. Chad, do you want to say something about programs? It could be very brief.
Okay, so I am very excited about the programmatic offerings that are coming in the spring of 2026. It is kind of a refurbishment of this program in some way, but it is like American Express membership has its benefits, right? So one of the things I think I'd really like to point out is just we really did sort of take to heart what you told us in the survey, what kind of programmatic offerings would be helpful to you. And I want to point out that you see here, they're twice a month, right? If you dedicate an hour twice a month to coming to experience these programmatic workshops, you're going to get the benefit all year round of being a part of this great organization, this community of people who care about formation, right? We've got some really cool topics coming up, things that we think people not only have expressed interest in, but would be, some of them even a little controversial. And controversial is not bad. But I do want to just reiterate the fact that part of being a part of this community is getting to experience these as well. And I really encourage you to take advantage of this. We've worked really hard to find program area experts in some cases to come and talk about these things, but to open up a space for all of you as well. So the things that are coming forward, you can see here. I believe in your swag bag you have a version of this as well that you can come back to. And as Chris mentioned, we're working on ways to make sure that this information gets out to you more regularly and in different ways so that you're receiving it in a number of different places. But if you do have questions, let us know. I will say again that really sort of leaning into it and participating for an hour twice a month, I think you're going to get a lot out of it. And I think you're going to begin to see how this sort of community that you're feeling in this space can go beyond this space for longer, right?
Missy, do you want to say something about awards as Emily?
All right, go. There you go.
Hi, I am not Emily Gowdy Kennedy, but I'm starting to think I play her on TV. So I am rising on Emily's behalf to speak about awards. One of the newer initiatives of Forma has been taking the time to recognize the work of those who are doing this work and celebrating it. We know that formation, children, youth, lifelong people are not always good at celebrating ourselves or telling our own stories. So we're going to work to celebrate each other. For a few years now, we have had the Amy Dyer Award in Lifelong Christian Formation, and this year we are adding 2 more awards, all of which will be presented at this evening's gala, which I hope you will all come to hear the Dyer Award nominee and their story, and to also celebrate the award winners in, oh dear Lord, I've forgotten. Innovation in Christian formation. And our goal is long-term to continue this process, to really look at what other things should we be celebrating, what other awards can we be giving to really highlight and celebrate the work of formation ministers. Not only will we be giving awards at the gala, but we will also be having dessert.
Back to the programming stuff for a minute. Once you have that information, all the dates, put it in your calendar now so that you can really schedule and honor that hour twice a month, 2 hours a month, to be together, to discuss those topics. It will be, it's really important, I believe. Now, as soon as my thing opens. Oh, membership. We grew by 19%. I mentioned that. Hold on, I'm just looking for all my notes. Was there anything else I was supposed to say?
I would just name that I think looking forward to the next year, our goal in the work of the membership committee is thinking about how we're engaging our members. And so putting efforts towards really engaging our members. So if you'd like to join in that work, that's an area that we could really use some help from Forma membership to provide.
Wait, I found my notes.
Okay.
I found my notes. We're good. Improving our communication about our programs. I think I just heard somebody say that. And in the vein of asking you to help with word of mouth, I think at the end we were going to say this, but we're going to ask that you take home a swag bag, and in it will be membership information. And we invite you to give that to somebody in your world, in your diocese, in your church, that you realize after you've been here or you've been a part of Forma for however many years that would truly benefit from that. So you will be the evangelists. All right, there we go.
As part of your membership, we're also really looking at our resource library. We understand a lot of this was occurring really organically in the Facebook group, and we understand that there is a wealth of knowledge and experience among this membership. So we are working on moving what we can from the Facebook page to the resource library to make it easier to find. We are also, at this point, anything you share on the Facebook page our goal is to get to the resource library. And then we're also using the resource shares that we just did, those folders, we'll be putting those resources in there as well. So we're trying as much as we can that space in VTS Plus or in Mighty Networks to have easy accessible resources. Because if you're like me, trying to cipher through like 7 years of the Facebook posts to find the one really good thing that you read at like 3 a.m. is really hard. So we're trying to help with that. So it is a constant work in progress, and we're always happy for additional support, or if you're sending resources, to get those plugged in. Chad.
Hello again. Nice to see
Turn
you.
around.
Wait, it's still me. I don't know if that
right.
works.
Good point. Good point. Sorry.
I am multiple people.
Sorry.
Chad is Chad.
We'll
I am
work
the
on
Chad
that,
from
Missy.
Central Casting. So strategic partnerships. One of the things we've been really thinking about this year, and I hope you can see there's a trend, right? It's a trend of growth. It's a trend of looking at the way things have always been done and kind of blowing them up a little bit, right? Like taking the time to sort of think through logically and with some deep thought. How can we improve? How can we make things better? How can we make things more useful, more inclusive, and really begin that process? And I think that's a hallmark for this year that I've seen. Strategic partnerships is the same thing, right? It's about how can we find folks to work with outside of Forma, because we are all values driven in some way, right? We're all doing the same kinds of work across many different mediums, across many different organizations. So I think we've been thinking a lot about that. We've been working on meeting with a lot of different organizations across the Episcopal Church and beyond, thinking about how we can meet together, how we can support one another, and what ways Forma may interact with, say, Episcopal camps and conference centers, or how we can begin to bring people together who maybe don't necessarily interact with our community as much, but could support one another as well. So being a way of connecting folks. So I think when we start talking about strategic partnerships, that's what we're talking about. It's also our sponsors, right? I know that you know this. Putting on a conference of this size and bringing everyone together is not, it's spendy, right? It can be. And it's not completely covered by the tickets that are sold and things like that. So having sponsors who are willing to say, hey, yeah, we're going to step up and we're going to support this, it's very important. And the more that we can work together, the more that we can build partnerships out and support one another in that way, it's just going to make all of it better and easier and more accessible, I think. Yeah.
I'll put this back up at the end of our presentation so you can grab it. If you'd like to join the work of Forma by jumping on a committee, we have a little form, and I will reach out to you after the conference to invite you to join us in our work this year. Chris, it's back to you.
Nominations. So on behalf of the Forma Leadership Council and Emily Gowdy-Kennedy, who is not here today, who chaired this year's nominations committee, I'd like to announce and thank the following members of the Leadership Council for stepping forward to serve on the Executive Council beginning soon. Please stand. Chad is our new treasurer. I am so thankful for folks like Chad that can crunch and understand and then explain the numbers. Thank you. Marvin will return to serve as secretary. It's like he never left, and he can so perfectly record multiple conversations happening at once and still also contribute himself. I am just in awe. Your new vice chair is Patty Ames, who is also not here. We learned about her from Missy, her alter ego. I am not Patty. She is not Patty. Emily will be your new chair, and I will serve as chair emeritus. Coming off this year, Patrick, I feel like you have been on Forma forever, so please stand. Thank you for your leadership. Please know that you can stay on the membership committee. I've really enjoyed that. But thank you for your commitment to Forma, your insight and ideas, your love and your faithfulness. And Emily Schnabel is coming off as well. So if you know her on Facebook, please thank her. And so we are thrilled to announce our 2 members joining our leadership council this year. So if you two can come on up, Peter Levenstrong and Bird Tracy, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. Do I just say?
Whatever you want. Who are you?
Okay. Who am I and what is my ministry? I am Peter Levenstrong, and I serve as Associate Rector at St. Gregory of Nyssa Episcopal Church in San Francisco.
And I'm Bird Tracy. I'm the Children's Programming Coordinator at Christ Episcopal Church in Needham, Massachusetts, and the co-convener of the Province One Formation Network.
We are so glad to have you. Please give them a round of applause. And now it's that time that I asked Chad to come back up as Chad to talk about finance.
Okay, so we'll make this quick. I'm just going to give you a really high-level look at the numbers, looking back for the fiscal year 2025 and the fiscal year 2026. So you might notice that the way that this organization works, we have a budget that runs across the fiscal year, July to June, but programmatically our work is more on the calendar year. So that does create some interesting conversations about how things are where they live and how they move and that sort of thing. So just keep that in context as you look at these numbers. In the fiscal year 2025, across 5 income streams, we brought in $116,430.29. In that same fiscal year, across 10 expense lines, we spent $113,339.94. Moving ahead, I want you to look. This is the budget for the fiscal year 2026. So this is the projected budget based on the revenue projections. Across those 5 revenue streams, again, we are anticipating an income of $180,000. And we are expecting an expenditures in the amount of $170,625. Now again, this is carrying over because we're looking at fiscal year versus calendar year. As of the end of December, there was $43,145.24 in the bank. Now let's look at the budget versus actuals for 2026 that I dropped to the floor. How rude. So you can see so far, these numbers are as the end of December as well. So far this year, the projection of $180,000, we've brought in $68,366.05. And of the projected expenses so far, we have spent out $33,883.24. I think this probably goes without saying, but because this was closed at the end of December, there are outstanding income and expenses for both the conference and the certificate program that are not showing up on this, okay? There's one other thing that I want to sort of point out, or a couple of other things that I want to point out for you. Forma is a reserve fund of VTS. That means we are not part of VTS's operating budget, right? We do have a relationship, a partnership through lifelong learning. There is some support there in terms of staffing and things like that. But the money that we spend is the money that we raise, right? It's the money that comes in through our membership, it comes through the certificate program, it comes through conferences, it comes through gifts that may come in, that sort of thing. So we are responsible for our fiscal health, right? And so it's important that you know that and understand that we really do depend on all of you, the fact that you are saying yes to becoming members, that you're coming to conferences, that you're joining certificate programs, that makes the work of Forma possible. It makes this community possible. And so I just want you to keep that in mind as you think about how we sit within the world. That's where we sit, yeah? One of the things that we're really excited about in 2026 is the conversation about how can we potentially begin doing some fundraising, begin looking at how we can raise funds for Forma. What's exciting about that for me is a couple of things. One, we care about the vision and the mission of this group, right? We care about our time together and the benefit that we have to one another, the sharpening that we have of one another. At things like this, through the programmatic work, through the resource hub, we can maintain those things, and we want to continue to maintain those things, but we also want to grow, right? We want to build new partnerships. We want to have new things. We want to be able to expand offerings, but we also want to make sure that the work that we are doing now, we can do in solid confidence moving forward. So part of what's exciting about all of this is the fact that we, if working towards being able to raise funds for the organization or for Forma, gives us an opportunity not only to do more, but to be strong and secure in the fact that we're going to be able to do that for a long time. Yep.
Thank you, Chad. Heidi.
I'm just going to say really briefly because my lunch is being eaten right now by someone else. I'm Heidi J.A. Carter, and if Missy were listening, she would say, and I am not your president. It's a long story. Our ministry canons in the Episcopal Church suggest that our discernment communities, they call them, which includes our commissions on ministries, our local parishes, and our bishops, are responsible for the discerning, the calling, the claiming, commissioning, and supporting of all 4 orders of ministry. And for the last 3 years, I have been desperately working to find a host for a project that aids commissions on ministries, the discernment community, in discerning, calling, claiming, commissioning, and supporting lay professionals in ministry. And this is really important advocacy work that has to do with not just job descriptions and things like that, but also sabbaticals and parity. We don't have pension, we have a savings plan. You know, like really getting serious about what it means to go to a commission on ministry. I've read 40 of those manuals. I only have 100 and some more to go. And they do not address lay professionals in ministry. And it's a very difficult conversation to have. I've had so much pushback over the last 3 years about what it means to go to a commission on ministry and have them say, we don't sense that you're called to serve from the diaconal or priestly order, but we do sense that you have been called to serve from the lay order in the church, and we say to you, yes, right? It's not a thumbs down. It's a right on, let's do this. And we're gonna get you a sabbatical and a peer group and placement services and all these things. So there is a QR code I'm gonna do a conversation about this on tomorrow morning, but there's a QR code in the Dagwell Hall that you can just scan to rank things that you think might be important about this conversation. So if you're not able to attend the workshop, please go and look at that. There's tons of other propaganda on the wall there if you wanna look at it about this project. But if you would scan that QR code and just do a weird ranking survey, that would help me a ton. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more announcement to make before we close, which is you might have noticed in the schedule that there is a dinner break on your own, and then there is additional programming this evening for our Forma Gala, where we will be honoring our certificate recipients from our pilot cohort, and also giving out those wonderful awards that Missy spoke about. And so we would encourage you to take a very short dinner break and come back and join us in celebrating the ministry of formation in the church tonight.
All righty. Friends, as we wrap up our annual meeting, I want to extend this invitation again to all of you. Whether you're a longtime former member or you're just discovering us at this conference, there is room for you in this work. We need your voice, your experience, your creativity, and your commitment to Christian formation. As we said, if you're wondering how to get more involved, there's QR codes all over the place. We'd love to connect with you with the work that's calling to you. So you'll take an extra bag and one of those flyers home and share it with someone in ministry that isn't involved or aware of the work in Forma. We need you to help spread the word. The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we give you thanks for this gathering, for the work we share, and for the people who make Forma what it is. Thank you for those present and for those watching from afar. Thank you for the vision you've placed before us of communities where people truly belong and are transformed into your image, one degree of glory to another. Bless the work of our hands and hearts in the year ahead. May we continue to be faithful stewards of the ministry of Christian formation, always remembering that we do not do this work alone. You are with us, and we are with each other. In gratitude and hope, we pray. Amen. Go in peace. Eat your lunch. Or go to your infinity group, sorry.